10-round decision to future 147-pound belt holder Dennis Ogas in August of 2017. His only previous bout here in Las Vegas. He's only won one of his last 5 fights, albeit against top opposition. He enters tonight having lost his last 2 fights via 12-round decisions to Jamal James, who we will see in the main event, and a Montes Stanionis. So Delorme needs to really get back to what made him a can't-miss prospect back in the day, but he's in tough tonight.
He is in tough. He brings to this fight, though, an offensive skill set that I assure you is the best that Ennis has yet seen. And even though Delorme, as you point out, has lost those couple fights, he has fought really tough competition, and he will bring it. And I will tell you something my old partner, Sal Marciano, used to say on our broadcast. Don't go to the refrigerator early in this fight. It's going to be a war.
And Delorme saying that Ennis doesn't have the experience yet to overcome a fighter like himself. And then Ennis countered with, hey, I've been in the gym since I was in diapers, man. It is a family affair, actually, for the Philly is the city of brotherly glove. His older brothers were professional boxers. And, hey, this week marks the 339th birthday of Ennis' hometown of Philadelphia. And, guys, Ennis has been cracking like the Liberty Bell. 25 of his 27 wins ending via form of knockout.
Wow, this is a sharpshooter. Amazing footwork.
See what Boots made of tonight.
Switch hitter, because he switches really well to lefty, and he's so strong doing so.
And while JARON Ennis is undefeated welterweight, Brandon Lee, he is undefeated. He is besties with Boots Ennis, 23-0 with 21 knockouts. He has been lighting up his opponents on Showbox, and we look forward to seeing Brandon Lee back in the ring later this year as he looks on supporting JARON.
See what Boots doing tonight.
Looks to move one step closer to facing the elite at 147.
Hell, I think after this fight,
All right,
if Boots handles business like he should, I think he should move up to the elite guys. Whether that's Danny Garcia, Boots and Virgil Ortiz would be a hell of a fight. But they're two kind of upcomers. I don't think they'll do that. Ugas, I would like to see Boots get Ugas or Crawford. We know Porter and Crawford going at it. Probably Jamal James. Probably why they go. These are like the 2 co-features. Probably you get Jamal James and Ennis. That actually might be the next fight. Both guys.
And a pair of unbeatens in Ortiz and Stanionis. So as far as Sean Porter, he'll challenge Terrence Crawford on November 20th. And Boots Ennis, who is nearing his first.
It continues to be fight fan heaven at 147, and let's go to the tail of the tape for our first of 2 welterweight contests here tonight.
Put him in the ring with Thurman. I would love to see that. What up, OG?
Ennis, but at age 31, Delorme has fought 182 rounds, and some of them have been in pitched battles. He's a 13-year veteran of the sport. So how many big efforts does he have in his body? We may find out tonight.
Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Yeah, I think after this fight, Boots time to take that next step. He should handle business tonight. We're going to go against a tough veteran fighter, though, so we'll see what happens.
Brought to you by TGB Promotions, DMD Boxing, and Showtime. Sponsored by...
We're going on with McCable now.
McKay, and from Nevada, Dave Moretti. And our third man to the ring, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Mike Ortega. All right, fans, here we go with the co-main event of the evening, welterweights in action. We're scheduled.
For those who have chosen to join me tonight, hey man, let people know I'm live. You know, let them know. Put the link out there or whatever you can do for me. Let people know we're live. This is on my other channel, so I know I don't have a lot of followers on that channel. So it is what it is, as they say. I'm back on why I did that. But yeah. So let people know Boots is about to fight.
And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing purple trunks with light blue trim and fighting out of his home of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
25 knockouts. 27-0. Is Jaron Boots Ellis the next star of the welterweight division? He might be. You may be watching the future here tonight, y'all. This ain't even the main event.
Here is the hard-hitting, undefeated welterweight sensation, introducing JARON ENNIS. And once again, a referee in charge now to give instructions. 10 rounds of action. This is Mike Ortega.
Gentlemen, I want a clean fight. Caballeros, quiero una pelea limpia. Good luck to both of you. Buena suerte a los dos. Touch them up. Todas las manos.
All right. Round one. Let's do it.
6 years as a professional ref. This is his 310th professional fight.
Okay, he's gonna get a tough veteran fighter here, but I think expect fireworks early in this fight.
And round number one, Ennis, preparing for Delorme, said he had his most demanding training camp featuring some of the best sparring he's received. And here's a guy who lives.
Told you, man, fireworks. Both guys. Speed, power. Boots showing that speed.
Fighting being a family affair for the Ennis family, it is that and then some.
Yeah, very much so. And you know, this early part of the fight is going to be fascinating. Delorme is
Boots throwing that jab out there. Whoa! Big haymaker tried by Delorme, but he missed it though. Boots got the jab pumping. Woo! Boots done got the first round knocked down. Let's go. I told you, man. Boots. You're looking at the future, man. And Delorme don't even look like he want to get up. He might really be hurt. Hey, Boots might finish this first round, y'all. I thought this would be a tough fight. Well, I thought it'd be a good fight while it lasted. But Boots might finish this guy. Oh, Boots finna finish him, y'all. Oh, good counter from Delorme right there, though. Oh, another good counter from Delorme. Boots, don't get careless. Oh, Boots dropped him again. 2 knockdowns. Jaron Ennis, boy. It's over. It's over. It's over. First round knockout. Wow. Wow. Hey, it's time for Boots to go to the next, man. Time to go to the next tier, OG. Wow. That's how you make a statement. That's how you make a statement. I knew fireworks was going to fly early, but I didn't see a first round knockout. Woo! 28 victories now. 20s. What's that? 26 knockouts for Boots Ennis. Wow.
Hey, he wanted to fight, and JARON Ennis brought it. What a knockout, what a stoppage. Yeah. What a way to do it.
That's a statement.
It is.
Oh, yeah, that was a statement.
Ennis lights up Thomas Delorme like a candle and blows him away in the first round. His 11th first round knockout. The 24-year-old is now 28-0 with 1 no decision. And you can't make a bigger statement than that in your Las Vegas debut.
Yeah, we'll go back and relive some of this drama.
And he was just hitting them with jabs. That's what's crazy. Oh, that knockdown was right behind the ear.
I don't know if it was illegal, but it just,
It was close to being a rabbit punch and not gonna front. But they didn't call it. It is what it is. He couldn't recover off of that. And then that second one, he dropped him with just a straight. Oh, no, it was an overhand right. Or is that the first knockdown? That's the first knockdown.
Really hard because obviously you get up, you're equilibrium, like you mentioned, you're off balance, and Boots wasted no time. He got on top of him right away. Sharp shooter.
And then after Delorme had tested Ennis's chin, here comes Ennis back for the second knockdown.
Oh, nice three-piece combo. Sat him right on his ass. Wow.
Then he switches to lefty. What fighters do you know can switch and still have that kind of power?
Ready, and that's why I called him in the beginning. I said he's a switch hitter.
One,
that's exactly what he
two,
did today. He switched to
three.
and he showed the power there.
Dropped him with a straight right.
Right in the button.
Or was that a straight left? That might have been a straight left.
Delorme turning his head, getting it caught behind the ear, but messing with his equilibrium. And Delorme gets stopped for the third time in his career. JARON Boots Ennis ends it in round one. He has designs on being numero uno at welterweight. He is ready to take on all of the top dogs.
I think so.
Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Give me Boots versus Danny. Danny ain't got no fights lined up.
9 seconds in round number one. A referee in charge, Mike Ortega, reaches the count of 10. He is the winner by way of knockout and still undefeated, JARON Boots Ennis.
Well, light work.
In the words of AC/DC, JARON Ennis went down to Sin City. JARON Ennis said he was going to win in Sin City.
You know what?
He did just that.
Exactly. And I had in my notes that he systematically breaks opponent, but he can also knock you out with one punch.
And he did just that. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Merle. Boots, congratulations. That was quick work.
Yeah.
How would you describe your display?
It was a good knockout. But you know me. I want to show my skills and my ability, but I couldn't. And I got a big knockout. But I just
that was embarrassing, bro. That was domination right there. So it's time to go. You shouldn't be fighting no more guys like this. It's time to go to the big names.
I ain't too worried about it. As long as I'm winning and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that's the beautiful thing for me. And we got it early. That's fine with me. We're going to get people over time.
And we're going to take a look at it. If you take a glance right here at this monitor, tell us about that big overhand right that you hit him with from your vantage point.
Yeah, I see he leaned to the right side every time, and we worked on that shot in the back room. Touch, and then chop, and that's what I caught him with.
And you know when you hit a man in the ear, he's not going to recover with that equilibrium. So did you know it was over then?
Yeah, I knew it was over. I just had to take my time and not rush anything. He come with a little shot. I had my hand up, but
I seen he was game for a second there, wasn't he?
No, I was just, figuring him out. You know me. It don't take me that long to figure him out, and I did what I did.
All right, here's the second knockdown that ended it. It was a nice three-punch combination. Tell us about it.
Catching his jab.
Bam, bam, boom. Come on, bro. You get hit 3 times in a row and get sat right down. Come on.
So now you've got this perfect record undefeated. Are you ready to take that step and now fight for a championship?
I've been ready 2 years ago. That's line him up.
Yeah, he ready right now. Yes, sir.
Spence, Ugas, Porter, Crawford winner.
Spence, Ugas, Porter, Crawford,
Danny, Keith. I would love to see him in there with Keith. Keith and Danny.
Let's get it.
That's an awful lot of names. Can you narrow it down?
But Keith Thurman don't want to fight no more.
I'm ranked number 3 in the IBF, so Earl Spence.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good. Congratulations, Boots. Fun to watch.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you. All right, Marl, back to you.
All right, Jim. JARON Boots Ennis. The previous time he fought in Las Vegas was when he won the gold of the 2015 National Golden Gloves in Las Vegas here. And, well, a gold medal-worthy performance in his professional debut in Sin City.
That's crazy.
First-round knockout of Thomas Delorme. And when it comes to the welterweight division,
I thought he would make a statement. I didn't think he was going to make no first-round statement, though. I think Danny and him would be a great fight, OG.
Let me tell you something.
And I think you think the same way I kind of think. Like, I don't think Danny is on that Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford level, right? So let's see how he does with that right below them, right below those guys. Let's see if he can go out there and dominate a Danny. Because if he can whoop Danny, then he really is ready. Like, he's ready.
Keith Thurman did an interview, and he was asked about Boots Ennis. He said he'd never even heard of him.
Thurman don't want to fight.
He's heard of him now after tonight and what he just
Thurman don't want to fight.
This kid wants a world title, and you can see he's ready for a world title shot. And he told us earlier this week, I'm going to rule this division for
They might give him the Ugas.
And it's hard to argue with him after he continues to put on performances like this.
But he says number 3 in the IBF, so yeah, that's Earl. I don't want to see him go up and fight Earl yet, though. I don't know if he's quite ready for Earl.
All right, coming up, our main event of the evening, welterweight titleist Jamal James will make his
This might be his next fight, though. Jamal James might be his next fight. Because this guy, if he wins tonight, he's fighting an undefeated fighter. Man, get that off my TV.
He returns to take on Tommy TNT Fury in an 8-round cruiserweight boxing bout, and it's on Showtime pay-per-view. That and more coming up in December.
Maybe, but he needs a true opponent to set the tone.
For a title
Right.
defense here tonight in Las Vegas. Here's a look at
I just think Danny's like the best. Danny or Keith, to me, would be great matchups for him because
he says many boxing pundits feel he still has to prove
you beat those guys, and then, yeah, there's no doubt that next fight should be a title shot.
He's the best kept secret in the division. And the same could be said about the Minneapolis gym, where he's honed his skills and desire to serve his community.
I've been with the Circle of Discipline all my life. That's where I started. Kind of just fell in love with the whole atmosphere and the energy and the vibe of it. Because it's more than just a boxing gym. It's really a village.
Let's see what they but this could be his next fight if this guy wins. This Jamal James, if he wins.
When I first came down here, when I first, at 5 years old.
Well, I've always been down with the whole social thing anyway. That comes all the way from a whole line of my family. I wanted to do something for the community. And finally, I got an opportunity to come up with a place that right there in our neighborhood that I could really put all my energy into.
We started the Circle of Discipline because there was a serious need for it, and still is a serious need for it. I run with one of my brothers a program called
This guy right here, his only loss is to Ugas. So it's like, your only loss is to the current, what is Ugas, the WBO champion, I think. Right?
Deal with peer pressure for some of the older ones.
Well, which one does Bud have? I know Earl has IBF and WBC.
Building credit and all sorts of different things that
I think Bud has the WBA.
For life when they get out of school. Not only do we talk about,
and I think Ugas has the WBO.
So he came
not 100% positive on that though. Pat, what's up, bro? Pope, what do you think about Boots? Man, I think he the truth. I thought he was gonna knock this dude out. I just didn't think it was gonna happen in the first round, but I thought he was gonna make a statement tonight. But he made a statement. But yeah, I'm a Boots guy. I'm a Boots fan. I think he's the truth.
After the smoke kind of cleared out, rebuild the community.
And he may be the future. I would love to see him in a lot of the top welterweights. Like him and Bud would be extremely interesting.
a lot easier to make things like this happen. It's a lot easier to make change.
Him and Earl, I mean, all of those fights are dope fights.
Food comes in, goes right back.
All of those fights are dope fights. But I think he started off with Danny or one of them other guys because we ain't really seen Boots test it yet. We ain't seen him test it yet. He's just been running through everybody.
These problems and fix
Ohio State ended up winning. They always pull it out.
And that's why it's so important that we continue to do this.
I was watching a little bit of Auburn and Ole Miss, man. And on the plays that I caught, Auburn muffs a punt. And I'm thinking to myself, every time I watch these other games, why Florida State can't get that lucky? Why we can't get teams that muff punts and gives us easy points? We got to work hard for everything we get, man. It's just crazy. Who do you think is the next Fury? Or I hope Wilder can next for Fury? They're saying Dillian White is next for Fury.
James is certainly a guy.
That's what I'm hearing.
About his community. You know, Jamal James knows Butayev is going to come right after him. So he said his game plan is to use his jab, his movement, his experience, and what he calls sneaky power to win this fight. James says he wants a rematch with Dennis Ugas, so the WBA will finally have.
So Ugas is the WBA.
Belt holder. Butayev says he doesn't think that James can handle his physicality nor his power. It's time for the main event. Let's go ringside. Here's Mo.
All right, BC, thank you very much. At the age,
I'm gonna lie, boy, that stadium, that arena, I'm sorry, it ain't no stadium, but that arena, boy, there's a bunch of open seats in that arena. I ain't gonna lie to you. Radzab Butayev.
In a fight scheduled for 12 rounds. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Everybody telling me to go live and ain't nobody show up. Michigan lost, can't beat them. Yeah, Harborough, man, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. But it was a tough loss for us, Pat. We was there. Like, Clemson was giving us. Clemson was giving us that game. Why does this man come out with a fro on? Tell me I'm tripping and don't see what I think I see. The Russian come out with a whole afro wig on. Is he trying to be funny or what the hell? Yeah, Mel Tucker is the truth. He's doing his thing over there in Michigan State. COVID's out there, I feel you, but I mean, they in Vegas. Man, motherfuckers don't care about COVID in Vegas. I do see people wearing masks, though. I couldn't even watch you after the game. It's all good, Pat. You know, in some aspects, the game played out how I thought, but I didn't expect Clemson to give us that many opportunities to take it. I will say that I did not expect 3 turnovers, a defensive touchdown, and a bunch of missed field goals, and we still couldn't capitalize. I thought that was crazy. I was like, how you get all those opportunities and can't capitalize on them? That was tough.
Butayev in the hollow weekend spirit. To only have follicles like that. Not even Butayev has follicles like that.
What was the point of the afro, though? I don't know. I feel some type of way about that afro. I'm not even going to lie to you. I feel some type of way about this man rocking the afro to the ring.
Minnesota. Here is Jamal Shango James.
Today, beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. A electric word life that means forever, and it's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you
Pat, we was up 21-7, and they took their foot off the gas and went conservative. Same old Manny, just different players. Thank God my Cowboys are having a good year. Hey, I got in the Knicks, so I got my Knicks. I'll say that much. As far as Miami goes, I was telling Miami that they were sleeping on TVD, but all that talk about Rhett Lashley done went out the window. Nobody's disrespecting Rhett Lashley now because TVD is, I don't know. We be so quick to not acknowledge that sometimes you just got to get the right players in there, man. Manny gonna F around and save that job, OG. Y'all boys gonna be stuck with Manny for another. They about to F around and extend Manny, man. Might want to watch out.
He has been a welterweight all 11 years of his career. You can't say that too many fighters in this era stay in the same weight class for their whole.
I will tell you this though, and I ain't trying to like say like clown or nothing, but these ACC refs are so terrible, bro. Like that was a safety for y'all. Like I don't watch football for years. That was a safety. I don't know what the refs were looking at that they didn't see a safety. Like blatant calls, but all day them refs, man, been bad all day in every game against us, against Clemson. Blatant bad calls. It's like, what are y'all looking at, man? So it worked out in y'all favor. Like y'all got a call in y'all favor there because that was a safety, but I mean that was y'all. It worked out for y'all. Didn't work out for us. OG said, "No, it don't matter. It's over, fam. No, I don't know." So how you gonna justify firing a guy? What are y'all right now? 4-4? What y'all 4-4? How you gonna justify firing a coach that? I mean, y'all got Georgia Tech next week, right? And then I think y'all got us. What if y'all win out? Or what if y'all maybe lose one more game or something? Like, I don't know. Hard to justify firing a coach if he wins out.
And now with the official ring introductions, the maestro on the microphone, Hall of Famer Jimmy.
I don't remember what happened in the NC State game. I just remember NC State players was dropping passes. And I'm like, come on. But that safety, I was like, bruh, what is that? But okay, it worked for y'all. Refs damn sure helped Clemson on their last. Yeah, absolutely. I keep hearing that from Miami people. That there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at Miami. I can't wait till they reveal it. I mean, what y'all waiting on? If Manny's a dead man walking, are y'all trying to salvage recruiting or like what's the deal there? I don't know. But at least y'all beat 2 ranked teams back to back. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Y'all finna fire him and bring in who? Who you gonna bring in? That's also my big question for Miami. Like, I get it if you're like, you know what, it's time to move on. Manny ain't the guy. At best, he's mediocre. I understand it. But who's coming to replace him? Because he's got to be a clear upgrade, or y'all just wasting your time. Bro, I just root for Florida State players in the NFL. Like, I've been watching Chargers games. I watch every time the Saints play. I try to catch Dalvin. But no, I don't really have a set NFL team. No.
Introducing to you first, the challenger on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with gold trim, fighting out of Indio, California.
How crazy would that be? Pat say Willie about to replace Manny. Book it. That would be insane. See, we'll beat NC State and Pitt, then lose to Georgia Tech. That's the type of S we be on. How has Georgia Tech even really looked this year? I haven't really paid attention to Georgia Tech.
And his opponent across the ring is the defending champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gray trunks with gold trim, fighting out of and proudly representing his home of Minneapolis, Minnesota. He weighed in at a trim and ready 145 1/4 pounds. His record stands at 27 wins, only 1 defeat, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight in his Showtime debut, here is the WBA welterweight title holder introducing Jamal James.
Let's get this last fight going.
Once again, the referee in charge. Now to give instructions.
We beat Miami. I'm good. I want to shut up too so damn bad. I think that's going to be a big game. I'll be interested to see how TVD plays against us. But at the same time, I'm going to be interested to see if we can run the ball like we've been able to. But I think that's a tougher game than both fan bases think. I think Miami fans think they just about to run over us. I think there's some Florida State fans that think, you know, we can whoop up on Miami. I think that's a 50-50 game. I think that's a close game, though. You just gotta ignore him like I do, Pat. T2Y, that's my guy, but he trolls. That's why I don't take it serious. James very lanky and skinny.
James, that layoff could have a little impact because of how much he relies on timing and the jab.
Like, really skinny. This is interesting.
Like what James is doing so far, fighting tall. That's what he has to do. He's got to fight tall.
Yeah, Miami. We got Miami at home.
Jab. Use the whole ring. Get Butayev off balance.
Yeah, Miami coming to Tallahassee this year. I think the next 2 games are in Tallahassee, and then so we got the next 2 games at home. NC State, Miami at home. Preferably, I want to win both of those. And then we finish on the road at Boston College and at Florida. I think the part with T2Y that really gets me it's not even the trolling. It's the fans that don't know what's trolling and be believing the stuff he says. That junk be like, I'd be like, you dumbasses. It's one thing if you understand the troll, right? If you catch the troll, then it is what it is. It's fun and games. It don't really bother me because I understand it. But you legit got people in this comment section believing his reports. Like if he really know what he's talking about, that jump be killing me. That jump be killing me. I will say I need UMNF for you to get. Of course, we all need them to get back on top. We need the state of Florida to tighten up. Period. Because Florida ain't no good either. While we sitting here talking about our 2 teams, it ain't like the Gators over here running the state. Ain't much going on in the fight so far.
Just special, really special.
And of course, his trainer, a person he calls dad, Shakar Frazier.
James sticking the jab out there. Butayev, he's having a little bit of problems trying to find a way to get inside. James got the height and the length advantage, and he's doing a decent job of using his height and his length as of right now. Decent head movement, all that good stuff. Putting the jab out there. But Butayev out here, you know, he's trying to get in there and land a big shot. You can see it. He's trying to get in there, get inside, rough up, and land something big. And if James can't show that he can land something to keep him honest, he's just gonna try to rush him in there. I just want T2Y in the car mad with the face mask on. To be honest, I don't care what they Geicos do. Oh, what the Geckos do. Talking about the Gators. I feel you. I hate them too. But see, we got to understand is all the teams are linked. If you want to know why kids are leaving the state, they leaving the state because, like back in the day, for instance, you would go to a school because your rival went to the opposing school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you play in Pop Warner in high school against the same guys, and you would choose colleges based off that same stuff. And it's like, today we don't do that because our best players leaving the state. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. No, I don't care about the Gators. I don't necessarily want them to be good or nothing like that, but I prefer for Florida kids to stay in Florida, regardless of which school that is. That's my person, because rivalries are created through childhood in this state, more so than every other state. These kids grow up together. Cousins, brothers have played against each other in these rivalry games, because that's how, that's what it is. But when your best players are going to Bama and Ohio State, then that takes away from the recruiting. You feel me? I think Butayev is about to get in here and catch this guy. Ooh, nice one too.
It doesn't go on his record as a loss. He's 13-0 with 1 no.
OG says to that point, yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying when I say, the three rivals need to get their act together.
Against Alexander Vesputin, but here now looking to put his best foot forward against James.
I like what James is doing. He's circling around the ring, keeping Butayev off balance. That's how you keep him off balance. You don't want him set. Just like
nice right uppercut on the inside by James, who's exhibiting.
For instance, like, remember Dalvin Cook and Yerby come out. They come out the same year, both 5-star running back, same team. What they chose to both stay in the state of Florida. One go to Miami, one go to Florida State. Now, Yerby didn't quite have the career Dalvin had, obviously, but you get my point. Like, that type of thing is good for both programs. Them boys wanted to play against each other after playing with each other for so long.
Inside punches too.
And it didn't take long for James not to necessarily abandon the jab.
I'm not sold on UGA. I've seen them look good, didn't lose big games before. Like, I'm not gonna believe in UGA till they actually are holding the trophy up at the end of the year. We've seen UGA look like this before, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna believe in UGA until they holding that trophy up at the end of the year. I don't know their remaining schedule though. The crazy thing is that Florida game might have been their last big game. So they might play. I think they play Auburn later in the year.
Yeah, but that was a good round for James, even though that's the case. Well, the combination punching of James can be really, really good, and we saw that in the middle of that last round. He doesn't land with everything there, but what does he do? He keeps going with the left hook to the body, then the straight right hand.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about, and I feel the same. Yeah, man. Talking about both things, the recruiting thing and Georgia is like, don't believe in them until I see it. They got to meet Bama. Yeah, exactly. They're going to play Bama again. If any year was the year, that's what I said. I said that beginning of the year. I said, if any year is the year, then this has to be the year for Georgia. If they don't get it done this year, they ain't never getting it done. If they don't get it done this year, they never going to get it done. They legitimately might have one of the best defenses that college football has ever seen. And if you can't win a national championship with that, then you may not ever get one.
Yeah, so James can be effective in those rounds and they can win those rounds, but then
we're in the third round of this fight. It's been a solid fight so far, but nothing too crazy.
It's fresh. He's still able to move around, but if Butayev is consistent and works.
Maiden day, man. You saw Boots with the knockout. You late, bro. We been in here, cooling it.
Speaking to the depth of talent at 147 pounds, and James
Okay, James, I think he thinks he got this guy hurt, but them Eastern Europeans are tough. Batayev, he ain't gonna go down like no chump. You gonna have to knock his ass out, or he gonna knock you out. Yeah, man. Knocked him out in the first round, man. Ooh, nice uppercut. Oh, come on, that's behind the head. I like James' uppercut. He throws a real sharp, fast uppercut. And I guess it has to do with those long arms he has. His jab isn't as good as I thought it would be for a guy with that length. Ooh, nice punch there from that from the Russian. I think he's Russian. He's definitely like Russian or Ukrainian. He's from one of them places over there.
It might not be the best strategy against a guy like Batayev.
For us, it makes it more fun, but for him to go back to his corner.
And the referee is really admonishing Batayev.
Ooh.
Better be careful.
Ooh. I don't know if James is gonna be able to hurt him because he hitting this guy with some shots and he's just eating them and keep coming forward.
Here in Las Vegas, coming up on the final 30 seconds of the season. Double left hook, one upstairs, one to the body.
This fight's starting to get interesting. It started off a little slow. It ain't started off like the Boots in this fight. That fight was over before we even blinked. This fight's starting to pick up some steam, though.
So punches and punches. And a great start to this main event here in Las Vegas.
I don't know if it goes the distance, though. What's good with you, Maiden Day? What's up with you, man? We've been talking about a little bit of everything tonight. Like my sorry ass Seminoles, your mediocre Canes, and everything in between. Hey, Pat, where you going? Get back here.
It was James, though, that used this punch so effectively. And if it's going to work once, keep throwing it, right?
It worked 2-3 times, 3 or 4 times there. And like you mentioned, the body work that he's doing.
The placement.
And after another...
They hitting each other in the body. I think both of them are having effective body shots.
Getting in there. But Batayev worked well. Yeah, and those are the blows that he got a warning, yes.
Oh, you behind us? Okay. Well, hell, we already in the, what is this, the 4th round, I think.
James has been down 3 times. The last time came against Canelo in July of 2016. 4th round scheduled for 12.
Batayev just turned southpaw. I don't know if this is going to work. Trying to show something different.
Have you ever seen? I've never seen him fight his old enemy before.
Ooh.
That would be intriguing to see how they do all the unexpected. I love your announcer voice. That sounded like an old-time radio guy.
Only the shadow knows. Just passed. 30 seconds gone here in the 4th, and again, shot. Lead right hands close the guard, and a double jab from James, putting on a clinic.
And that's the danger of switching lefties. You know, James has a good right way across.
Ooh, that was borderline low. The ref let it go. That's good defense, though. He didn't look for the ref to bail him out there. I like that from James. He could have looked for the ref to bail him out, and he didn't. You got you upset, Maiden Day. What clown? Who you talking about?
I was not liking what Batayev has a left-hander, but so far he's doing
But
great.
what about what the referee's doing to Butayev?
He's killing his momentum. It's not right.
I don't know. This Russian's starting to come on, man. James better get his shit together. Oh, Blaze.
So he knew something we didn't know.
I mean, I don't have a problem with Miami fans coming in there, obviously. Y'all know that. But like I said, I've never seen he's never been in one of my streams before. Ooh. Butayev might get him out of there. Ooh. James gonna have to dig deep. That Russian ain't going nowhere tonight. He in there. He taking all them his best shots, and he in there giving his own. You either gonna knock me out or I'm gonna knock you out. Let's go. We got us a fight tonight. Yes, sir. Somebody is not walking out of that ring. But like I was saying, though, I ain't got a problem with Blaze and nobody, really. But y'all boy, y'all fans got a habit of showing up. The whole month of October, the only Miami fans that was in the chat was the guys who's always in the chat. You, Kilo, Kane Zay, same guys I always see. Y'all win a couple games. I got Miami fans in my chat I haven't ever seen before. So that's why I had to put them in timeout, bro. I'm like, you gonna come in here and talk trash, and you ain't never supported the channel before. I know who he is, or at least I've seen him before because I see him on other Miami channels, but still. All right, man, we're in the 5th round. OG thinks James hurt. I don't know. I don't think he hurt, but I do think he's going to have to dig down deep. Ooh. He might be hurt after that shot. That shot almost spent him around the ring. I think the problem is I don't think James is hurting Butayev or Butayev, however you pronounce this dude's name, because he's getting hit, but that guy just keeps coming forward. Like James is hitting him with some stuff. Like that uppercut just now was solid. The straight has been landing its mark. But I don't think James is hurting him is the problem. He's eating these shots and he's continuing to walk forward. If you can't get this guy something to think about, I don't know. I don't think James is going to get out of this fight. I think he's going to lose that belt. You think he's finna get the stoppage? He killing the body, I ain't gonna lie. Butayev is killing the body. Yes, they will. He is killing the body. OG said he ahead of us. Ooh. Well, so Butayev is doing something that is illegal, but it's kind of an old boxing trick. He's hitting, and then when the guy ducks, he's leaning his forearm on his neck. You can get a cheap knockdown that way if the ref doesn't catch us that. Hey, I think James might get stopped for real. He's looking like he's out of it. You about to take points? Oh, the ref just took a point. Oh, ref just took a point. Ref just took a point, but even still, I think Butayev gonna get. Look, James can't even stand straight. But he's doing that. The ref is not catching this forearm to the back of the neck. Watch the fight if y'all watching what I'm talking about. Butayev does this every time he ducks. He shoves that forearm directly into the back of James's neck. And that's why it's looking like James is so off balance. He's not really off balance. He's getting pushed in the back of his head. Nice uppercut. Damn, those body shots. Boy, we got to fight tonight, bro.
What happens is he throws this punch at Jamal James. Now the question is, after I guess there was no clinch call, it was James that turned around.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, he turned him, based on a little switch. There he is. He tried with the left.
Would you have punched there if you were fighting?
It's fair game, of course.
Yes.
It's fair game. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like that call by the ref to take a point there. Now, what the ref should be taking a point for is this forearm in the back of the neck is what he should be taking a point for. But OG say, "Poke, you see that? Yeah, if you're talking about the forearm, yeah, man. He throwing that forearm in the back of the neck every time James ducks. That's illegal." I mean, they said the ref needed to retire. But even with the little cheap tactic with the forearm, he's just bullying James, though, at this point. There goes that forearm again.
James needs to get back to using the jab.
I don't think James can hurt him. I think that's the problem. And he didn't choose to box him, which is the problem. He chose to stand in there and fight with this dude. Well, guess what? You in a fight now. You in a fight, and it's gonna be tough unless you can catch him with something that ends the night. He's off balance bad. That boy just threw a punch and spun his whole body around off a miss. That shows you that he's trying to compensate for his power because he knows he's not hurting him. That's exactly what that showed y'all. He's trying to compensate for his power, so he's trying to throw his whole body into punches. And you see on the miss, turned his whole body around on a miss hook. He's doing good boxing from distance right now, which is really what he should have been doing the entire fight, boxing from a distance.
What he's trying to do is, he's trying to give him different faces. Exactly. And surprise him. Next thing you know, because I'm sure James was expecting for him to do that.
Time's got to be careful. Already had a point deducted.
Ooh.
Left in the sixth, lands the lead left before they come to close quarters. There appears to be not a lot.
The problem is, I think every time this Russian throws something serious, I feel like it could end the fight. There goes that forearm again. He does that forearm again. A part of it is James' fault. He has to stop ducking. If he knows the forearm is coming, stop ducking in front of it. But I get it. I'm trying to keep him getting hit.
Just really trying to keep Butayev at distance. Great defense from Butayev too. That's really smart aggressiveness from Butayev. Most guard he gets in.
Ooh, they trading shots. James is giving him his back. And the ref is bailing him out. James about to get stopped, y'all. This ain't going the distance. This might go 8. James got 2 rounds left in him. I don't see him going past 8. He just looks out of it. Body shots are taking a toll. Look at the energy. The Russian got energy, man. Oh, 1, 2. Oh, my God. This is it. Yeah, he can't hurt him. That's what I'm saying. James can't keep him off of him. He can't hurt him.
In Vegas with a first-round knockout of Thomas DeLore.
Look at that. Boots got a first-round knockout. Now he in the front row in street clothes. Not a mark on his face, nothing.
None other than the Magic Man himself.
Jaron Ellis will be a champ. Of course he will.
By the way, a huge boxing fan.
And he knows a thing or two about being a champion.
Yes, he does. We go back and look at this great action in the last round, and both men were able to get some work done. And I mentioned Dusty going about it too, but the team had control of that round, even though James did think.
Yeah, I'm saying, boy, like they say, like in the movies, boy, them Eastern Europeans be strong. Man, that punch right there. Hey, you gotta give James credit. He got a chin, because that punch right there, that should have took him out. That should have ended the fight. That punch in that replay should have ended the fight. But I have a hard time seeing James make it past 8. Unless he catches a second win. And again, watch how James is moving when he punches. He's compensating for his lack of power. Because there go that forearm. And then the forearm and the uppercut. That's illegal as hell, but the ref ain't catching it. He's shoving him down with the forearm and throwing the uppercut. That's illegal, but the ref didn't do nothing about it. I think James fights a little better when his back's on the ropes. Maybe that's just me. Problem is, again, he can't hurt this dude. He is eating the Russian is eating these shots. He can't hurt him is the problem. So they got James winning. I don't know. Oh, because of the point. Because of the point.
Momentum seems to be in favor of Butayev, but remember, judges don't score.
Butayev is landing all the significant punches, though. I will say this. I do think these rounds are tough to judge. These boys in there fighting, man. They giving it their all.
Yeah, James has gone back to that uppercut in this round, and that's been effective. This is a close round of boxing, round 7.
And he's doing good body work also.
Yeah, he is.
I think that hurt James. I think that body shot hurt James right there.
The way he places the punches.
You know, James is fighting this fight totally on the inside.
That Russian taking them shots like popping Skittles. Hey, for real, it's not phasing them at all. At all.
He's fighting short. He's fighting at the range of Butayev.
And we've seen a lot of uppercuts thrown.
James needs to pop that jab. He should have started the fight like that. At this point, maiden date, it's too late. It's too late to box him. You done committed to standing in front of him and fighting. He ain't got the gas in there to box him no more. Now he got to sit in there and hope he can catch something flush.
I know people everywhere like, do not say that. We're enjoying this.
He should have started the fight off trying to use his length and on his jab. Look at that forearm. That lunging 1-2 that guy does, man, connects every time, I feel like. Lunges in there with the 1-2 and he hits him every single time. Well, Marley Dorsey, your husband or your future husband in there getting handed. getting whooped.
First 3 rounds, very good for Jamal James. The last 3 not so much.
Get the legs going. I want you down. I want you moving. Step off. I said step off, brother. You stand right there in front of the boy. You hear me? What's up? You working? What's up? You want it?
That boy tired in that corner.
All right.
Y'all should have told him to box from a distance at the beginning of the fight.
Let's go. Let's go to work, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, combination. Good distance. It is gut check time in the James corner. Shakira Frazier asking him, do you want it? Meanwhile, Joel Diaz wants the combinations. And after when you and I broke down tape together, we noted that Butayev really manages distance well, takes a step back before smothering his offense.
Really does not smother his punches. He takes a little step back, like you mentioned.
Nope, I said he wouldn't make it past this round, so it wouldn't shock me if Butayev finished it. Wouldn't surprise me if James got finished in this round. Yeah, he's fighting. Shout out to James, man. Dude showing heart. The dude got a chin. Nah, this is starting to get ugly. I'm tired of this ref, though.
Yeah, the problem with all that, and it is true he has a big advantage, is he's taking that body punishment, and that's going to diminish his effectiveness as the rounds go on.
That boy James, one punch away from being down for the count.
I mean, I think James has the athleticism to carry the fight, but not like he would want to because his legs are not.
I don't know. I feel like Butayev might be either he's conserving himself or he's gassing out because he's not throwing punches as much as he was. He looks a little bit slower this round, or am I tripping, y'all? Y'all think Butayev is taking this round off, or to me, he looks a little sluggish this round. Like if he's trying to catch his second win. That lunging one too, man. He always gets that. The Russians got some underrated footwork too. So the ref don't give a damn about the forearm. Like there's no way the ref's missing some of these forearms. They're like blatant.
James was out for 14 months and here now 45 seconds left in the eighth. Still continues to come forward. Even though he's not getting the better of these exchanges, Abner.
Yeah, even though James is not getting the best of these exchanges, he's still game. He's still in the fight. He's still letting his hands go. He uppercuts. I mean,
well, he's 30 seconds away from making it out of the eighth. I didn't think he would. But I feel like Butayev took this round off. He was not as active as he was in the previous rounds. I don't know if he purposely took this round off because he knows the championship rounds are coming up or what. Butayev's footwork is real underrated, though. Let's see. DF, what's up with you? I didn't even see you come in here. Bro, you got first round knocked out. Oh, okay. Boots is getting perfectly matched, only boosting his. Well, I tell you what, after tonight, there should be no reason why Boots isn't fighting one of the top welterweights next fight. I said Garcia. I want to see him fight Garcia, Danny Garcia.
271 Friday, November 12th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. And then Friday, December 3rd.
Nah, I agree. Ain't no way it's tied. No way. He got knocked out. Shit. Why does when James pop the jab, he doesn't hit him with the straight right? Me and you both poke. All right.
Between Butayev and James, round 9.
And I'm really looking forward to the Canelo glitchy match. I think that's going to be a great one. You know, the most yes,
okay, James come out in this round throwing his hands at distance, and he had success. Butayev is eating these punches like he's at Waffle House eating the damn bacon, eggs, and a waffle, bro. Like, Jesus. Y'all remember the Kimbo Slice fight, the one that really got him famous, where he ate Buddy shot? Like, just sat there and let Buddy. See, told you about. And the ref hasn't called that all fight. And I don't know why the ref is letting this guy get away with that. But if the ref ain't going to call it, I would keep doing it too. Bump it. It's working. But Butayev is eating these punches like Kimbo Slice was eating buddy punches in that fight. Like, I feel like Butayev could walk in there with his hands completely down and it wouldn't matter. James cannot hurt him. Yeah, RP to Kimbo, for real.
Some veteran moves there too. Again, a standout amateur fighter working with Joel Diaz to become more.
Oh, next week is D fight for me. Y'all heard about Rolly and the Tank fight getting canceled? Because Rolly is accused of sexual assault or some crap. Rolly and the Tank fight got canceled. What kind of pisses me off, because I want to see Tank knock Buddy out. It don't surprise me that weirdo was I mean, allegedly, right? He allegedly, to be fair to him, sexual assault, these are alleged sexual assaults. But what y'all think about that stop? I think it's a good stop. I think it was a good stop. I think it was look at his face. I think that was a good stop. I think the ref might have saved his life, to be honest with you. I could see why someone would be mad at that stop. But if you look at the way this fight was going, James it was at a point where James is just sitting here taking punishment. He was just getting beat. And I'm okay with that stop. I'm okay with that stop. I'm black and Puerto Rican, bro. Yep, absolutely. Rolly a bum. Rolly been acting a fool. And I'm not mad at all. And you know, next week we got Caleb Plant and Canelo Alvarez. That afro still bothers me. Why is he wearing his afro? I don't know.
I've always said a punch early instead of a punch too soon, but I mean, James was still in the fight out.
Well, he was winning that round. The round had changed with Butayev doing a really good work.
That was a good fight, though. Very entertaining fight. Welterweight division, man, is in good hands.
Yeah, let's not bury the headline. Ramzat Butayev with a brilliant performance.
This dude was not going to distance. Are you going live next week? I don't know. I don't know what I got going on next Saturday, to be honest with you. But if I'm just home watching the fight, I'll go live.
Now, remember, as we said, James had a good first portion of the round, but now Butayev really picked up the pace and was landing good punches.
So, yeah, I'm not mad at the stop in this totality, but I will say the stop at that moment looks a little premature. I kind of agree with the commentators here. I'm not completely mad at the stop because I think we all sat here and watched James getting beat up. But in this moment, I don't see where you saw enough to stop the fight, unless you just said, you know what, I don't want to see any more of it. He probably is, but you know me, I'm going to be rooting for Caleb Plant. And I still think this is the best matchup for Canelo that there is. And I've seen Canelo struggle with the slick boxer. So I guess my biggest question for Plant is, can you hurt Canelo enough to keep him off you? And can you not be like Billy Joe Saunders? Can you actually take a punch, Caleb Plant? But I ain't worried about Caleb Plant and what he's made of and his heart and none of that. If you know anything about Caleb Plant and his backstory, Buddy been through hell in his life. He's lost a mother, a daughter. Like he done been through a lot of struggles. So I ain't worried about the heart. Caleb Plant ain't gonna be like Billy Joe Saunders and quit in the corner. I guarantee you that. The question is, does Caleb Plant have the tools to win the fight? You know, I wouldn't bet against Canelo, but I'll be rooting for Caleb Plant. That's all I'll say there.
Just been informed that the referee and the commission have declined to be interviewed by our Jim Gray, so we will further endeavor to try to find out what happened.
You think so? Amateur style, if you taste a little
Jamal James.
Taste a little body punching. Okay. The ref saved his life. He will thank him. I don't think Plant was ready for Canelo at this point. That's fair.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time.
But we'll
2
see.
minutes, 12 seconds in round number 9. Our referee in charge stops the contest. He is the winner by way of technical knockout.
I'll tell you this: anybody that bets on Plant, they're gonna hit big. That's all I'll tell you. I don't know the exact numbers, but I bet you Canelo's a huge favorite in that fight.
Showing no mercy to a game. Jamal James Butayev now has a belt. He is now 14-0 with 1 no contest. And he just recorded.
Well, we might get Butayev and Boots next. How y'all think that fight will go? Boots is gonna box. Boots will box the hell out of this boy. Butayev's he's a machine. He's got a good motor on him, but Boots probably knock him out. But I don't think DF is a big Boots fan. Canelo struggled with Slick Fighter a long time ago. Everyone involved. I mean, fair, but when's the last time we seen him against a Slick Fighter? Because newsflash, it's not like Billy Joe Saunders wasn't having success when he was boxing in that fight. Canelo caught him with a punch that broke his eye socket, and Billy Joe quit in his corner. Say what you want. Somebody punched me in my eye and broke my eye socket. Who knows how I'd react? Probably quit in my corner too, but again, I don't get paid millions of dollars to box, nor do I have I trained my whole life for that moment. But go back and watch that fight. It's not like Billy Joe wasn't having success in that fight. Absolutely, he was. Amir Khan, you go back. Let's watch the Amir Khan fight. Amir Khan was boxing that Canelo's ass off. Then he gets clipped. I mean, again, you clip Amir Khan, you already know that that's a knockout. But go back and watch. Slick fighter, slick boxer, giving Canelo problems. And in my opinion, Canelo lost the Linares fight, point blank, period. Can't convince me otherwise. So we'll see how he does against. Everybody does evolve, but I haven't seen Canelo against a slick boxer to say he has evolved. Styles make fights. Gennady Golovkin stood right in front of Canelo. Most of his opponents stand right in front of him. Billy Joe, when he boxed, had success. I like Charlo versus Canelo.
I personally like to have a back and forth fight.
But again, I think Charlo brings a style that is exactly what Canelo wants, though. But Canelo was in a control, not like the Lara or Mayweather. Amir Khan, a.k.a. Glass Jaw. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see. I'm a root for Caleb Plant regardless. Y'all know me. I'm a fan of a guy. I'm a root for him even if I don't think they could win.
I wanted to use this in the fight, and it worked for me inspiring, so it worked for me tonight as well.
Was it your feeling that the fight should be stopped at the point it was?
Don't ask that man that question. Of course he thinks the fight should have been stopped. He just won. Main Day thinks if Lara wouldn't have run 10, 11, 12, he could have won the fight. I think he should have won the fight regardless. Whether you think he ran or not.
It could have ended a lot worse, and I felt that it was the right thing to do because I knew that I had him almost.
I guess the big Danny Jacobs is athletic, and he was never in the fight. Danny Jacobs did that, but did Danny Jacobs try to box this guy? Danny is one of the bigger. Danny's one of the bigger disappointments to me. Did you not watch Danny against Rosario? So, I mean, you can say what you want, but Danny Garcia is Danny Garcia. Boy, eyes are swollen.
All my supporters, you know, it wasn't my night tonight. Big shout out to Butayev. Big shout out to ENNIS, man. These guys came through and did their thing.
I got a lot of excuses for who? For Danny? Again, did you watch Danny versus Rosario? You telling me that guy was supposed to beat Canelo Alvarez? Who am I making excuses for, though? For Laura? Because I thought he won a fight. Who am I making excuses for?
No, man, I'd rather go out on my shield, out on the floor if I'm gonna go out. I still felt that I had strong will. Obviously he was catching me with some pretty nice shots, but I felt that it was still very competitive. But that's why we have a referee.
I'm making excuses for his opposition. What are you talking about?
What do you think was
Just because I don't think Danny Jacobs is that guy that you're claiming he is? That's the only person that I said. Laura, to me, beat Canelo. I don't care what y'all can say. He ran. Fine, he ran. I still say he won that fight. Outboxed Canelo for the majority of that fight. So it is what it is there. Danny, I don't think he's as good as people say he is. That's my opinion, though.
Keep him at bay with my range like I would have liked to.
Who else am I making excuses for, though?
That's boxing, man. That's boxing. Some nights it ain't your night. Unfortunately, it wasn't my night tonight on a big fight like this, but I'm willing to continue to get some other opportunities. I'm gonna keep giving it my all.
By the way, I've been saying Canelo's only the pound for pound. I've been only saying that. So just because I think Canelo has flaws doesn't mean I don't think he's not the best fighter in the world. I get tired of people, man. People be sitting here on Canelo's nuts like his dude is golden. Canelo can be beat like they all can be beat.
Granted, no one wanted to see the fight end the way it did, but Motaev pulls off the biggest win of his career, does it in style. And now let's revisit the scores at.
No, Floyd didn't run. Floyd also, you're talking about one of the greatest of all time, probably the greatest fighter of his generation against at that time, what was Canelo? 24 years old? He learned a lot from that Floyd fight, but he probably shouldn't have been in there with Floyd.
It's not quite as close as we might have thought. You see, two of the judges, Max DeLuca and Don Trello, they gave James only 2 rounds, the first 2 rounds, and that was it for the whole fight.
But there was a lot of hype for Canelo, so I understand why Floyd took that fight. I never said Triple G beat Canelo. I said Triple G stood right in front of Canelo. Never said Triple G beat Canelo. Even though I do think that first fight was could have gone Triple G's way. Absolutely. I never said Triple G beat Canelo. He did struggle with Khan. And Billy Joe Saunders did have moments in his fight. Like you're not disproving anything. He was not clearly in control against Khan, bro. We can sit down and watch that fight together, and bullshit. Now I'm questioning, do you even know what you watching? You said he was clearly in control against Khan. Come on, stop that. He clipped Khan. Now you could say that he was luring Khan to, but I mean that's Amir Khan. Come on, Khan was tagging his ass up. This should be Charlo's a middleweight. They're at super middle. Charlo need to start trying to unify that middleweight division. Make himself give Canelo a reason to want to fight him. I'm not sure Canelo's ever going to go back down to middleweight. If I'm honest, if being honest, I think the big question is, I think the big question is with Canelo is what does he do if he unifies middleweight? Does he go back up to light heavy? I don't see Canelo like defending the super middleweight. And I'm not too sure he moves back down to 160 either, though. As he go back up to light heavy, I'll be interested to see what Canelo's next move would be.
Take a look at this. Look at the number of you who responded to us on Twitter.
That's my question for Canelo. If he ends up getting this, the win, is what does he do next? Is Charlo a big enough fight? Even if I might want to see it, do I think it's a big enough fight for Canelo? I don't know. I'm trying to think of the next big fight for Canelo. Better BF or something like that, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the next big fight for Canelo would be. And if he goes back up to 175, then I think that's where Better Biev and those guys are at. Who's the dude that I'm thinking about? I forget his freaking name. That was supposed to fight Uzkadagi. What's his name again? What's his name? That was supposed to fight Uzkadagi. That would be a decent fight for Canelo. But even then, I'm like, Canelo versus Spence in 2020. I do not like that fight for Earl, man. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, and I'm maybe the biggest Earl Spence fan out there. I don't like that fight for Earl. Benavidez, there you go. I don't know how I forgot Benavidez, but maybe Canelo and Benavidez. Earl and Spence and Canelo is a big money fight. That fight does big time numbers, especially if they have it in Texas. That fight is gonna sell out and have big time numbers, but I don't like that fight for Earl, man. I don't like that fight for Spence. I know Spence can make 160. I hear he walks around 175, 180. Earl Spence does, but I don't know. I don't like that fight for Earl Spence, man.
Showed you that he's a player in this division. JARON ENNIS showed you that he's without a doubt probably
fight at 160. Let's run it.
Now, before we recap our evening of boxing, here's what's coming up on Showtime.
How do you stay off the radar of cancer culture? Don't say the N-word.
Watch out. Earl Spence at the strip club all the time. Don't be too much of a fan. He loves the nightlife too much. Well, I know that's why he wrecked his car that one time. I was hoping he had learned from that, but I'm still a fan. Regardless, I'm still a fan. But I don't like that fight with Canelo at all.
This is my life.
Eventually, he will disappoint you one day. I don't know. I don't know if he can disappoint me. L's happen. Disappointment comes when you lose to somebody I feel like you should lose to. But if he loses to like Bud or something, I wouldn't be disappointed. To be honest with you, I used to be a big Terrence Crawford fan. Terrence Crawford actually used to be my favorite fighter. My problem with Bud is he don't fight nobody. I'm glad he's finally getting this Sean Porter fight. I used to be a very big Bud fan, but hard to be a fan when you ain't fighting top welterweights. But walking around like you should be, the cream of the crop. What you did at 140 don't matter what you did at 147. I know he was undisputed at 140, but that don't mean nothing at 147. I'm here in Dallas and Oak Cliff. Him and Virgil. I like Virgil Ortiz too. I think that's a guy that people have been sleeping on, man. I like Virgil Ortiz. I like Virgil. I like Virgil. I like Boots. Some of them young guys are some of these young guys, man, promising careers. That 3-punch combo was like, Buddy just sat there and let him. Maiden Day got a bad feeling about Earl after the wreck, and I am very concerned. I feel you, OG. Especially after I feel like we may have seen the best of Earl. Devin Haney, yeah, everybody knows I'm a big Devin Haney fan, so you ain't saying nothing I don't agree with there, DF. Devin Haney's my guy. Devin Haney is my guy. He'll be at welterweight sooner or later. What is Haney's at? What is Haney at? 135? Right? Haney's at 135. I think he'll eventually get to welter. You know who's not the future? Ryan Garcia. Yeah, Haney's at 135. That's what I thought. 135. I can't wait till we get some of them 135 fights, man. Tank and Haney or Tank and Teofimo, like those fights, I can't wait. Can't wait for some of those fights. And what is Shakur's at 130, right? He might as well go ahead and make that jump up to 135, man. That division could be loaded. And most of those guys will be what, like Teofimo, like a lot of these guys I think are eventually going to be 147 pounds. Welterweight's where the money's at. Guys like Teofimo and Tank, Tank probably can get up there too. I mean, I've seen Tank walk around fat as hell, so I know Tank can get 147. Tank is very short though. So some of these guys can eventually get to 147. We can have some good fights in the future. When OG, I feel you. I need to see Earl shake off the cobwebs. Everyone's avoiding Haney. No, they don't want to fight him, man. Who was supposed to fight Dev? Was it Figueroa? Is that who I'm thinking of, DF? They don't want no smoke with Dev. They don't want no smoke with Dev, man. Dev probably my favorite or second favorite fighter. But Boots is growing on me. I ain't gonna lie. I've always liked him, but he's got power and he can box his ass off. That was a nice card, though. That was a nice card. That last fight turned out to be a good fight. Wasn't it Omar Figueroa that was supposed to fight Dev? Or am I thinking of somebody else? WBC elevated Virgil to the number one contender. That's a good fight. It's a good fight. You might get a Mando with Spence and Ortiz unless Spence agrees to unify with Crawford. But let's see if Bud get through Sean, which I think he will. I think Bud will get through Sean Porter. Let me turn this down a little bit. I think Bud will get through Sean, but I like Virgil Ortiz, man. There's some young studs in the welterweight division. I thought it was Shakur. He was supposed to fight. Figueroa? And Shakur you talking about? Because I know Dev and Shakur ain't going to fight no time soon. That's a super mega fight right there. If we ever get that, Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney is like, that would be like, let me think of it. That'd be like, I'm trying to think of a comparable match. That would be like, I know for a fact Garcia did. Garcia was the mandatory for WBC. So I know Garcia ducked that. But who was it that Garcia, I can't think of this guy's name. I must be saying the name. Garcia was supposed to fight some guy recently and he backed out of the fight. That same guy should be the mandatory for Dev now, DF. Who is his name? I feel like I said Figueroa, but I could have been wrong there. Jojo Diaz. I think I'm thinking of Jojo Diaz. You say Pedraza. I don't think it's Pedraza, bro. Maybe it was. Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight. I'm finna Google it real quick. Ryan Garcia next fight, which I know is the next fight. Yeah, it was Joseph. It was Joseph Diaz. He was supposed to fight Joseph Diaz. That's what I was thinking. He was supposed to fight Joseph Diaz November 27th. He's backed out of that fight, and now I think Joseph Diaz is the mandatory for the WBC belt now. Maiden Day says, I feel Bud's gonna struggle with Porter. I think Bud will struggle with Porter maybe early. But by the 5th or 6th round, I think Bud's gonna have him figured out and pick Sean apart. But I think Sean brings an interesting style to Bud that he might not be used to. But I think Bud will figure him out. I thought it was Figueroa was supposed to fight Shakur, or was it Canelo's fighter because of the drug test? Canelo's fighter was wasn't that Oscar Valdez that failed? I think that's who. I think that was the guy, Oscar Valdez, who failed the drug test, but they didn't do anything to him. Or am I thinking of someone else? Yeah, I think it was Oscar Valdez who failed the drug test. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. Recently, I think JoJo is. I think he is the mandatory now, and I don't even think he wants that fight. But I know Haney's been ducked for a long time. That's Teofimo's the one that beat Loma. Oh no, Valdez did. Yeah, hold on. No, Valdez didn't beat Loma. Who beat Loma in his first fight? Was that Valdez? Loma did lose his first fight of his career.
Canelo learned to scrap because he had to. But that lifelong tenacity has served him well.
No, that was Salido that beat Loma his first. Okay. What up, Tyler? Bro, Canelo speaks English when he want to speak English, bro. If anybody who's been watching Canelo knows, Canelo has been speaking English for years. That's why that whole thing with Caleb Plant, where he says you don't say the MF, man. Canelo been speaking English for years. Yeah, Loma lost to Salido. That's who I was talking about, that first fight. Or his first loss.
There is no doubt that the opportunities available to the boy will be plentiful. Especially the father whose tough upbringing taught him the most valuable gift he can give his namesake is confidence.
And who's Teofimo fighting next? He's fighting somebody finally. I'm telling you, man, these fighters get straps and then they forget. Don't he though? OG. These fighters get belts and they forget that they got to still fight. Teofimo, man, should have been fighting. I can't wait till somebody beat him. I hope it's Dev that beat him. Teofimo. I don't really like Teofimo like that. But I think they finally came to an agreement on his next fight. But I forget the name. Cambosis. Yeah, Cambosis. Or Cambosa or whatever. I don't think Aaron want that fight for Teo. No, Teo ain't gonna fight Haney. They just did that capping in that one interview just to cap. It should happen though. If Loma want to not Loma, I'm sorry. If Teofimo want to consider himself the unified, undisputed champ, he is unified, but he's not undisputed. Because if y'all remember, people don't talk about people don't talk about how Lomachenko ducked Devin Haney. Y'all don't remember. DF might know what I'm talking about. Maiden Day might know what I'm talking about. I mean, y'all might know what I'm talking about, but Devin Haney was the mandatory for Lomachenko. The WBC franchised Lomachenko and dropped him as the actual WBC champion and gave him that whack ass franchise title. Then Dev fights for a vacant WBC title, and he's been the WBC champion ever since. But Haney was the mandatory for Loma, and Loma dropped the belt to go fight Teofimo. That's a fact. And Teo's still ducking Haney, by the way. I was going to the Teo fight down here in Miami, but he said he got COVID, but we all know that was cap. Yep. Teo will duck Haney for the third time. Teo move up to 140 to fight Taylor before he steps down there to fight. Hey, Taylor ain't no easy. Let me tell you something about Josh Taylor. Ain't no easy fight for Teofimo either. I'll tell you that right now. People be sleeping on that boy Josh Taylor, but that boy Josh Taylor is nice. Undisputed up there at 140. That boy Taylor is no joke. I hope Taylor don't think that's an easy fight for him, because it's not. It is not. But Lomachenko ducked Haney. No, he didn't want none of that Haney smoke, OG. People don't even talk about how Lomachenko dropped that WBC belt because he didn't want to fight Devin Haney. And then Lomachenko even came back later and was like, as if he didn't know what the franchise title meant. Bob pulled the franchise belt to, yeah, that's what I'm saying. DF Aaron pulled that franchise belt to avoid fighting Haney for Loma. Absolutely. Because people know Devin Haney's a bad matchup for everybody. He's a stylistically, man, y'all don't want no smoke with Dev. He's too good. That's exactly what happened. He beat a guy that people said was pound. Bro, I remember listening to ESPN, and this is when I knew I was done with ESPN. I knew I was done with ESPN before this, but I was listening to Lomachenko. I forget who he was fighting. I think he was fighting that dude, and it was Linares. I think Loma was fighting Linares. It was when Linares had put him down in that fight. That was Linares, right? Loma versus Linares. I believe that was Linares. Yeah, that was Linares. Loma was fighting Linares. And then, but I'm watching this fight, listening to the commentary on ESPN, and they had the nerve to say that Lomachenko, with his speed and footwork, is the greatest fighter of all time. They actually said this during a live broadcast with a million people listening to this, or at least the hundreds of thousands, and said Lomachenko was the greatest boxer they had ever seen. Like Roy Jones didn't exist, Muhammad Ali ain't exist, Sugar Ray Leonard ain't exist, Pernell Whitaker never fought, Floyd Mayweather ain't never put on a pair of boxing gloves apparently, and I can go on and on. They call Lomachenko the greatest fighter they had ever seen. It was right then I said, yeah, I'm done with ESPN forever. It was right then and there I said, I'm done with ESPN forever. But ever since Teo beat Loma, they ain't really hyped Loma up as much as he was. Haney was talking about them all over social media. Who did it best? Pryor or Sweet Pea? Or am I going too far back? I mean, now you ain't going too far back, but you're asking, that's a tough. You understand what you asking. Like that. You know, you asking a tough question right there. I'm gonna take Sweet Pea though. Haney was scheduled to fight that British fighter that got knocked out by Garcia. I think his name is Luke Campbell, I think. But Arum stole that fight for Loma. Loma took that belt in unified versus Teo instead of Haney. I gotta go Sweet Pea, but Aaron Pryor was not nothing to sleep on either, bro. Man. That's a tough question though, OG. I like questions like that though. I think everybody hates Bob. Hawk time. Purnell's my guy. That's tough. I mean, one loss. Well, Aaron Pryor had like one loss in his entire career, right? Ugh.
As a teenager, he marched across the desert in search of a better life in the United States.
That's the fight, but the fight we never got to see though, right? The fight we never got to see was Sugar Ray versus Aaron Pryor. Imagine that fight. Who y'all think would have won? Eventually won. Who y'all think would have won that one? Who y'all think would have won Sugar Ray versus Pryor though? We never got to get. We never got to get that fight though, and we probably should have. We should have got that fight. We should have got. We should have got Sugar Ray versus Hawk Time, as DF said. We should have got that fight. The Hawk. You think Pryor would have beat Sugar Ray? Okay. I'm over here watching Canelo whoop these boys on this special. Shoot. What other? And it was some BS why it didn't have politics stop. A lot of great. That's the problem with boxing. It's been like that in boxing for a long time. I mean, think about it. We'll probably never get Wilder and AJ. We might not ever get Earl Spence and Bud Crawford. And those like the two biggest fights in the sport. Do you feel me? I mean, look, we got Tyson and Lennox Lewis years too late. Same thing with a Pacquiao and Floyd. We got that fight years late. Trinidad versus Roy. Tommy Hearns was a bad man, though. Tommy Hearns was a bad man. The sanctioning bodies is what kills it. I wish boxing was like wrestling. You just fought for one belt. We don't need 35 belts in the sport, right? One heavyweight belt, one, so on and so forth. But there's money to be made, and guys can make money if they're called world champions, even though they're not really world champions. Pryor would get more aggressive as you threw shots at him, punches after punches, man. Just saying, I hear you, bro. And what are some of y'all's dream matches? I'm just chilling, so if y'all want to keep the conversation going, by all means. I'm like, what are some of y'all's dream matches, though? Or who's y'all favorite fighters of all time? DF says, search Hawk Time Pryor on YouTube and see how Floyd stole his entire swag. Shakur versus Haney. That's a mega fight. Don't know if we ever get it. I mean, think about the trajectory of those two fighters. That's probably a fight we'll get when both of those guys are 35. Because neither one of those guys are going to want to give up that L. Bud versus Spence. A fight that we should have had by now. Floyd versus Purnell. Okay, that's a dream match for you. I feel you there. Me personally, I would love to see Roy Jones versus Canelo. I would love to see Prime Roy versus Canelo. That's one fight I wish I could see. I wish I could see that. And of course, I would love to see Ali versus Tyson. Got to be Customado Tyson, though. That Tyson was different. Customado Tyson. Tyson, Hagler, Chavez Sr., Haney. Those are my favorite. Those your favorite fighters? All right. For me, it's Tyson. Tyson's one of my favorites. Tyson's one of my favorites. Roy Jones, Ali, Floyd versus Julio Cesar Chavez, Prime Floyd versus Prime Canelo. My problem with that, OG, is what is Prime Canelo? Is it 175 Canelo? Because if we're talking 175 Canelo or 168 Canelo, I don't really want to see that fight, you know? Like we got old Floyd versus young Canelo, and we saw how that one kind of went out. But give me Prime Roy versus Prime Canelo. I think you got a fight right there. Floyd versus Chavez Sr. at 130 would have been special. Prime Oscar versus Prime Canelo. That would have been a fun fight too. Oscar versus Canelo.
Routines are welcome in most training camps. And even though tonight is the couple's 2-year wedding anniversary,
I would like to see Lennox Lewis versus some of these heavyweights today. I don't think they're like dream matchups, but you give me Lennox versus AJ. Lennox will box the brakes off of AJ. Lennox probably boxes the brakes off of every heavyweight in this era. Lennox and Fury would be awesome. I think Lennox Lewis versus Tyson Fury would be a great fight. What you know about Duran OG versus Triple G? I like that fight. I like that one. I agree, DF. That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked, like, what is Prime Canelo? I feel like Prime Canelo was 175, 168 Canelo. I don't want to see Floyd in the ring with that. I don't want to see Floyd in the ring with that. But Roy could fight Prime Canelo, no problem. Roy could fight that. What y'all think about B-Hop versus the Executioner versus Canelo? What y'all think about that fight? Yeah, I think Lennox versus Fury would be amazing. I agree with you, Domain Dave. I think that would be a fight. I'm trying to tell you, OG, I don't want to see Floyd in the ring with that. Floyd versus Sugar Shane 135. I see Floyd going down. Hey, Shane almost got him out, right? At 147. B-Hop exposes Canelo. You think so? You think the Executioner exposes Canelo? Interesting. I got one. People don't talk enough about this guy. But OG know who I'm talking about. DF probably know. What about Winky Wright versus Canelo? What do you think about that fight? I think that's an interesting fight there. Winky Wright versus Canelo. That just shows you that we look at Canelo as probably an all-time great because we pitting him up against these all-time great guys. To be fair, I'm pretty sure people see him as on his. If he's not there yet, they see him on his way. Canelo beats Winky. Winky lost to Fernando. Do you think Calzaghe or Canelo would beat Calzaghe? Winky versus Charlo. Okay. I like that one. I used to be a big Jermaine Taylor fan. You know, he got in his own way, and I think he got into like drugs or something. But Jermaine Taylor had a promising future. Got in his own way. Canelo would beat Calzaghe. Okay. Because then Calzaghe beat Roy, but Roy was never the same after he came back down from heavyweight. He was never the same. But I think Calzaghe beat Roy and B Hop, didn't he? I'm not mad at you, DF. I'm not mad at you, but Calzaghe did beat, if I'm not mistaken, he beat Roy and B Hop. Hagler versus Canelo, man, that's a slugfest. Hagler versus Triple G would be nice to watch. B Hop was 67 years old, and that's B Hop fault for fighting until he was 70. That ain't Calzaghe fault. But I'm with you on that. Hagler versus Triple G. I think that's a slugfest. Hagler versus Triple G. I would definitely pay to see that one. Hagler beats Triple G. What about, I'm trying to think, Duran versus Pacquiao? That's interesting too. I think Pacquiao would get him. I think Pacquiao would beat Roberto Duran. With that said, Pacquiao leaves himself susceptible to getting knocked out like he has been in his career. But Duran and Pacquiao, I like that. My thing about Roberto Duran is we know he got that quit in his system. We know he'll quit. Pacquiao a machine, and prime Pacquiao on that. I don't know. Prime Pacquiao, he's a machine in there. He's throwing punches and he's not stopping. He's throwing punches from every angle and he ain't stopping. Duran might quit that fight, man. Like the OG said, no Maz, Duran gonna quit that fight. Pacquiao too much. I think Pacquiao too much for Duran. I wanted to see like Cordy versus Floyd, but Floyd avoids slick fight. He did. Floyd was a master matchmaker, though. Yeah, Prime Pac was something. That's what I'm saying. Pac and Duran, I would love to see it, but I think Pac is all over Duran in that fight. Duran gonna quit. I was just thinking Hearns versus Charlo. Hearns versus either of the Charlo brothers. I'd love to see. Yeah, that Prime Pacquiao, he's throwing a million punches in that Roberto Duran fight. The only thing Roberto Duran gonna be like, no, I'm good. This man doing too much. I'm good. Just like he did against Sugar Ray. I'm good. He doing too much. I ain't got time for this. Well, sure, we had some good boxing talk tonight, y'all. I appreciate that. It's only 3 of us in here, but shoot, we kicked it. We kicked it. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Pacquiao would have gotten KO. Pacquiao couldn't stop Marquez. Pacquiao developed his right hand after Morales schooled him. Young Pac was too wild. I don't know. I think Pacquiao in that Duran fight, he definitely could have gotten KO'd. I don't disagree with you. But I think it's either a situation where Duran quits or Pacquiao gets caught. Marciano versus Tyson. I think Tyson knocks Marciano. I think people are pretty well schooled that Marciano was a mafia fighter. Not saying Marciano wasn't good, but we all there's a reason why Rocky Marciano isn't considered better than what he is. Guys were paid to take dives in some of his fights and all of that. You feel me? I think Tyson knocks Rocky Marciano out. I think Tyson knocks Rocky Marciano out. You know what would have been a good fight, though? Did you bring up Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson versus Sonny Liston would have been cool to see. That would have been a cool fight to see. That would have been cool to see, in my opinion. Pacquiao was too wild. Hey, but them punches don't stop coming. Them punches don't stop coming, though. Again, you're not wrong. Pacquiao could definitely get caught. But Duran can get caught, too. Dog, I would be any of them Italian fighters. Yeah, you know, Marciano, we know about Marciano and then the history behind him. So, but I would have loved to see Liston versus Tyson. I feel you, bro. I'm about to get out of here too. I appreciate y'all, man. And we're gonna do this more often. Probably, I mean, I'm gonna try to. I don't know what I got going on next Saturday, but we're gonna do this more often. I appreciate y'all, man. I'll holler at y'all later. Let me go out here and, like OG says, rub on some feet and see what I can get in here to tonight. But I appreciate y'all, man. I'll holler.